Try to turn live. Just FYI.
Should I turn this thing off?
No, I mean, it's charging. If you want to turn it off, it'll charge faster.
No, you don't need it on.
Hi.
There's the poof.
I'm gonna do, I was like, should I watch the chat on here? Absolutely. Hi, PETA. Hi, Sil. Hi, guys. I'm gonna be looking at the chat on here. I've got old eyes. I cannot see that far away, apparently. Oh, yay. We've got some people coming in. Hi, guys. Happy Saturn Day. Hi, Melissa. The crew is coming in. I gotta shut this. It's annoying. I'm not gonna pay attention to them. We got a new kitten. What was it, babe? 2 weeks ago?
Yep.
2 weeks ago. And our older kitten is only a year old. Like, he turned a year old on September 19th. So he's like 13 months old now as of Thursday. And they get along, but they play really hard with each other. And she's still little. She's like 12 weeks old. So my mixer, you love my mixer? Thank you. Oh, Pineapple Crush Me. Yes, strawberry cheesecake. Hey, Paige. So you're drowning. Heidi's drowning in cat pee. Oh no. Okay, dude. So I saw this and I might get it. I saw this like cat pheromone diffuser thing. It was like on one of those stupid Instagram ads that are really annoying, but sometimes helpful. And this one, so I think it's like Therapet MD or something like that. Oh, you got it yesterday. Awesome. That's hilarious. That's so funny. Yeah, I'm actually, let me know how it goes. Like seriously, email me or whatever, like DM me on Instagram or wherever. Like, let me know how it goes, because I would, if that works to keep your cats from fighting and peeing all over, poof, like the cats aren't peeing all over the place. They really do get along. It's just that like the fight, like they wrestle, and it's so, yeah, but that's awesome. I'm glad, like, give me a review, a cat pheromone product review. That'd be awesome. So, hi guys, thanks for being here. So first of all, what's pretty interesting, I don't know, said something went wrong here. Oh wow, my phone's loud. Okay. Oh, you're getting some of them fixed. Good. That should help, hopefully. Oh, that's really funny. Maybe we'll look into it. We'll pull some cards here. Oh, yeah, Paige, I don't blame you, but I'm glad you're here. Thanks for being here. Yeah, you're like 12 hours from us or something. So yeah, today is the halfway point between the eclipses for eclipse season, and we're on Saturn's day, and the moon is in Capricorn, and we have Mercury and the sun squaring Pluto in Capricorn, and we also have the moon squaring the nodes at 24 degrees today as well, that are also loosely square Capricorn still. So, or the Pluto and Capricorn still, but everything is square Capricorn and everything's happening right now. So it being like the middle of eclipse season, basically, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but everything's really glitchy this year. I don't remember another eclipse seeing, like, recent one being this glitchy. Like, everybody I'm talking to talks about how it just sort of feels like timelines are really weird. And so I feel like timelines are meshing, or I feel like some of them are like speeding up really fast, like by like the choices that we're making right now during eclipse season and the things that we're doing right now with eclipse season are catapulting us into like future timelines and like showing us, you know, if you decide to make this decision to change your life, something that you've been needing to do for a while, hint, hint, this could possibly be what your future looks like. And so I feel like timelines are meshing right now to kind of give us a little boost. I didn't say it was going to be easy, but that's sort of what it feels like to me. I don't know what you guys, things need to stop happening in Capricorn. I agree with you, Paige. I've been tired. Oh yeah, I've been sleeping like trash also. Like I've just restless. Like and having a new baby kitten on top of it is like having, like literally having a newborn child. So totally feel that. So I hope we can play a little bit today, just to kind of like get the intensity out, you know. I am planning on doing a blog on our brand new website that Henri has beautifully put together. So I'm planning on doing a blog with like astrology and baking like combined with each other because you know, the planets and stuff, they actually rule food, and they, you know, like certain planets rule certain health parts. And hey, you guys need to stop, babe, the kids are fighting. Poof. Sorry guys, don't mean to yell into the microphone. I apologize. Get the water bottle. He just gets he's so aggressive, and she's just a little bitty thing. So anyway, so, oh, he just put her away. I'll get her out like right before we're done if you want to hang on, but he just put her away because they've been, Poof is being kind of a stinker, to be honest. I think that, I mean, he's just kind of, he's telling her who's the authority, right? He's telling her who the authority is. And, you know, she's just in a new place. Like, she doesn't care. She's just in a new place. But yeah. So let's get started. I'm a little draggy. I'm dragging a little bit today. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm dragging a little bit. And I'm like kind of, my ADD is really bad. My focus and ADD is really bad. So I apologize. Alpha Poof is absolutely, hi Diane. I hope you're feeling better. I'm really glad you're here though. But yeah, absolutely, Alpha Poof. Okay, so starting these strawberry cream cheese muffins, there are three parts to it, three different parts to it. We're going to make crumbles for the top. We're going to make the cream cheese filling, and then we're going to do the muffin batter, and we're going to do it in that order because it's like way easier to do it in that kind of order. While these are cooking, we'll do a little bit of tarot after we get done with the cooking part. So the ingredients that you're going to need, we're going to start by making the crumbles. The ingredients you're going to need for the crumbles are 6 tablespoons of pastry flour and a 1/4 cup and a tablespoon of granulated sugar. And I already put that in the bowl. And then you will take 3 tablespoons of melted, melted, like if you've melted it, make sure that it's cooled off so it's not like burning hot. Unsalted butter, and we're going to add that everything. Hold on a second. I'd like to take this time to remind everybody that I am not a professional chef, and I will not do professional chef things. So if I forget to tell you an ingredient or what I'm doing, just kindly remind me. So then once we get the melted butter and we pour it on the sugar and the flour for the crumbles, we're just gonna stir it around, get them all crumbly. Yeah, I keep thinking about what Paige said about things need to stop happening in Capricorn. I'm actually, Pluto going into Aquarius isn't really like this fanfare, celebration, excitement, birthday party thing. It's not like big fanfare, but after having Pluto in Capricorn for the last 15 years, like Pluto's been in Capricorn since 2008. So think about that. Think about where you were in 2008 and where you are now, because you are finalizing those lessons. You're finalizing that transformation. It's not even really lessons. Yes, lessons happened during the time, but it was more of a transformation. Like, I'm a Libra rising. I've had Pluto in my 4th house for the last 15 years, since 2008. And the 4th house is very similar in a lot of ways to the 12th house, because it's your innermost private life. The difference between the 4th house and the 12th house is the 12th house is more spiritual. It's more of a connection to source, having faith, where your belief systems really you really find out what your belief systems are there. And in the 4th house, it's more about safety and security and stability. And having Pluto go through my 4th house literally made me find that my safety and security and stability is within my body, within my own body. Because I also view the 4th house very much like it's the body. A lot of people want to say the 6th house is the body or the 2nd house is the body, but, and I can agree with that in a way. Like, the 6th house is more like health, your health in the body. And the 2nd house is more like the food, the way that you work out too. Like, I think the 2nd house and the 6th house can very much correlate each other when it comes to like care for the body. But yeah, when I saw, when Saturn and Jupiter went through my 4th house, that's when I started to expand. My waistline started to expand. So I was like, there's something about that 4th house in the body. There's something about Pluto and Cap is so much more comfortable than new territory and revolutionary Aqua. I think things are really going to get crazy. I agree, actually. I think things are going to get crazy, but I think they need to get crazy. There's a lot of like doomdayer people out there talking about like all the negatives. I'm still doing the crumbles, you guys. I'm a perfectionist, and Venus is in Virgo, so I'm still doing the crumbles. But yeah, there's a lot of doomsday people out there, and I don't necessarily believe that we're at the end of the world. And maybe we are, maybe these are the end times. Who effing knows? I'm not going to live like it's the end times. I'm still going to like live my life. Like, why not? Right? Like, I already have a mortality time limit, as everybody does, but I'm just aware of mine. So it's like, but at the same time, I do believe that the revolution needs to happen. Like, the last time when Pluto was in Aquarius was the Revolutionary War. And my ancestor, the last time we did this, we did the live. I told you guys I'm French. I'm going to put the crumbles in the fridge because I don't want them to melt out here. It's not really warm out here, but I'm just being cautious. So give me 1 second. So while we're doing that, the rest of that. I think, and we're already seeing, like, I'm not really, even this morning I told Henri, I'm like, I don't want to talk about politics because like, there's so, like, I get it. There's a war happening and this is just the beginning. And, I'm not surprised. Like, I'm just going to say it. I am not surprised that this is happening at the final degrees of Pluto in Capricorn. And I'm not surprised that it happened right when Pluto went direct. And I'm not surprised when Pluto is square the nodes that it's happened. This is not surprising to me because I'm an astrologer. I'm not going to go around and just tell everybody and be like, I'm not surprised we're at war. That's kind of insensitive and stupid, but Pluto's in your 9th house in 2008 was when you made a mistake of trying to fit. Oh, right. Hi, moon goddess. Oh, the magnetic flares. Yes. Oh, I love Scorpio risings, by the way. It is a breakdown. It was Pluto square Mars, the same as Ukraine. You're absolutely right, Melissa. Thank you for paying attention. Thank you for following along and paying attention. It absolutely was. And I thought this. I remember earlier this year when I looked at Henri and I said, something's going to happen when Mars and Pluto square up this weekend, I guarantee you. And it did. The Ukraine war started. And then when this happened, I thought the same thing. I didn't say anything this time. I didn't say anything out loud this time, but I thought the same exact thing, that there's going to be a war. I'm kind of I don't really know that I'm going to share my own personal feelings on it, but I think the whole situation is really sad. And I think the whole situation could have been avoided centuries ago, to be quite honest. And I think that, again, things like this just sort of have to happen in order us to recognize, and not just recognize that wars can't happen like this, but recognize who's actually in charge of doing this and who is supporting. You're really seeing people's true colors right now. And I think that the veil is very thin. There's not a lot that can be hidden, and people's true colors are coming out because, there's a lot of people that think they're right about a lot of stuff, but you're recognizing now that people who think that they're right about things are actually being inhumane. And that is very clear, obnoxiously clear. Hi, Simone. Those colors are ugly. Okay, so we're going to work on the cream cheese filling. So we get 6 ounces of cream cheese, which is what I have right here. Oh, sugar's behind me. And we're going to do 2 tablespoons of the sugar. And with the cream cheese, it says, so we do room temperature, so it's easier, because if you're not room temperature, then the cream cheese is just going to be clumpy. I actually throw the cream cheese in the microwave for 30 seconds. I actually forgot a really big important step. I need to start my oven. I told you guys I'm not a professional baker. 375 is where we'll do that. So 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar. And then we're going to put some vanilla. Oh, yeah, the infected does have to be cleared out. But that's what I'm saying. I think that, this move of Pluto in Aquarius, and you guys, I'm 44 years old. I've been through half of Pluto in Libra, Pluto in Scorpio, Pluto in Sagittarius, Pluto in Capricorn, and now Pluto in Aquarius. And we've survived. So Pluto in Aquarius, and I mean, yes, it's increasingly we can see everything changing and shifting and the increasing of it. But I really think that it's necessary. It needs to happen. Half a teaspoon. Almost put too much vanilla in. Half a teaspoon of vanilla. So this is the cream cheese filling, and I just mix it up with a fork. Oh yeah, you can make strawberry cream cheese muffins anytime. I mean, it's like literally, and it really is more of a dessert than it is like a breakfast thing. Like you can eat it at any time. This isn't, I mean, it's not like, I mean, I make them all year round. Like obviously I only use fresh strawberries in them. I won't use frozen because it gets too like, it gets too watery if I use frozen fruit in anything. So if the strawberries are gross and not in season, then obviously I can't make it then. But other than that, it is. This is a really, I was actually thinking about the other day, Heidi, how wild this lifetime is that, and you know, I don't know, this is my belief, you guys. I believe that I chose to be here during this time for a reason. I believe that I chose certain lessons that I had to learn during this time for a reason. And I believe that everything that I am doing is absolutely a free will choice. However, my fate, like, and I already know what it is, like, my fate and my destiny is already handled. It's already taken care of. You know, that was one of the biggest things that brought me to peace in my life, is that my fate and destiny were already handled. And that accepting what my fate and destiny is, because my fate and destiny, it's not fun. Like, it sucks. My fate sucks. What I have to endure and the burdens that I have in this lifetime are not burdens that people want to have, period. And my life is amazing. Like, I have such a beautiful existence, totally amazing. And I wouldn't have been able to say that a couple of years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. I think that I've always tried to stay optimistic, but I can genuinely say that I wake up in the morning and just feel all sorts of gratitude and joy for where I am in my life. And I still have to carry really heavy burdens every day. And it's like the moment that you decide and choose to not carry those heavy burdens, the moment that, because like, that's the thing, is like, if you can make those burdens or bring peace to those burdens, that's like the ultimate. Like, people ask me all the time what the meaning of life is, and I'm like, the meaning of life is to find your peace. The meaning of life is to find your flow. The meaning of life is to find your joy. The meaning of life is to find, what your path, your journey, and it has nothing to do, like, it has to, yes, it has a lot to do with the people that come along with you. But at the end of the day, this is your story. This is your journey. This is what you're doing. So bringing people along is awesome. Oh yeah. I have a strong friend. I'm a quarter French, so I'm right there with you. Pastries for breakfast. I try and do savory though, because I'm not allowed to have a whole bunch of sugar. I've actually started putting honey in everything instead of sugar for myself. Now, when it comes to Henri, I'm gonna like make all the sweets and pastries and stuff that he wants and use that cane sugar every time. But yeah, I do try to find like healthier ways for me to ingest sweet things, but this is going to be good. But what I was saying is I will be putting up a blog with my recipes that I'm doing. I haven't done it yet, but I promise it's going to happen. And after this video, I'll go back into the description and I'll do the ingredients. I was going to type that up last night and I was just way too tired. So I'll do all the ingredients and the instructions in the description box so you guys can have this recipe because it's pretty good. Okay, so we're going to move on to the muffin batter because, of course, I can talk all day long about everything. All right. So for the muffin batter, we have 1 2/3 cups of pastry flour. Now let me show you guys. I use for all of my pastries, I use I just like using the pastry flour way more than the all-purpose. because it makes the pastries much lighter. Especially, and this is one of the things that I'm still working on, but like pastry dough to make like croissants and like danishes and like all those. I tried it once and I ended up making delicious Pop-Tarts, but they definitely were not flaky pastries by any means. So I'm still working on that, but I do use pastry flour. There's a big difference. I just made some Mexican bolillo rolls for Henri yesterday, and I got the actual bread flour that has the gluten protein in it already, and those puppies came out way better than all my other breads did. So definitely getting that bread from now on. So 1 2/3 cup of pastry flour. We're going to add 2 1/4 tablespoons or 2 1/2 tablespoons of baking powder. So oh, thanks. Oh yeah, so I made like the best homemade Pop-Tarts. They were so good, like by accident. But thank you, Heidi. I appreciate that. I do have a rough chart. And even from a couple years ago, I would say, so mix these two together just to make sure these dry ingredients are all together. But yeah, like I do have a rough chart, but I've also learned how to remediate so many of those placements that I have in my chart that I don't necessarily, I see it as just what it is. Like I just am so accepting of things. And like, I wish that I could bottle up how I did it. I wish that I could look at everybody and be like, this is what you need to do in order to accept your life. Because I know that's one of the hardest things about being human is just being able to accept the difficult moments that we have to go through in life, because everybody's like, well, this fucking sucks. This is not what I want my life to be. Well, nobody wants their life to be like that. And unfortunately, that's just where we are. That's what we have. This is what we're doing here. I mean, like 1/4 of Americans get cancer. 25% of Americans either have cancer right now or will be diagnosed with it before the end of the year. And that's not okay anymore. The fact that that's so much now, like that's hard. So everybody has a hard life, right? So I wish that I could have like bottled up all the steps that I took to be able to accept what I was going through. But when it comes down to it at the end of the day, first of all, everybody's journey is different. So you're going to have to figure out a way. You're going to have to find a way to accept the hard things in life. And obviously you don't want to accept everything, like if you're being treated poorly, that's not a time to just accept stuff. Like that's a time to make changes and to, like start loving yourself more enough to know that you're not just going to accept being treated poorly by somebody. But I think the biggest part of it is to let go of the anger and the resentment of just existing and life and all the hardships. I think that having that, like holding on to that anger, I had anger for over 40 years of my life. And whether it was my anger, my mother's anger, or anybody else in my family who was angry for some odd, whatever, I had to process all of that. And I was lucky enough to be able to find people or attract people, align with people, whatever, however you want to say it, who could truly show me unconditional love and could look at me and be like, I'm not going to be your fucking punching bag. If you're going to be angry, you need to figure that out because I'm not going to be your punching bag. And like being real with me, but still loving me through it. Like, I'll be here for you, but you got to process this. I'm not just going to sit here and let you beat me up. I was lucky to have that. And I think that that's one of the things that everybody, that's what everybody wants in life. Everybody, you don't want the twin flame. Trust, you don't need that. That's not what you need. What you need in life is people who are going to unconditionally love you, no matter who you are, where you are, and what you're doing at the time. Because there's no tolerance anymore, right? So finding people who can be tolerant, finding the fact that Henri is so tolerant of me. I mean, I'm tolerant of him too. Like, don't get me wrong. He's an amazing person, but he's not perfect. And neither am I, right? And he would say the same thing about me, that I'm an amazing person, but I'm not perfect. So it is. Gosh darn those damn. Oh, hi, Henri. Speaking of. Oh, moon goddess. I'm actually trying to move away from all of the artificial sweeteners too, because I think that my cancer that's part of the reason why I have this really rare cancer, is because I had artificial sweeteners. I was still Diet Coke drinker. I know it's horrible. I condemn myself every day, but I also have to give myself grace because I'm human. And someday I'll have to stop drinking it. And I already know that. And I already have my little eye on me about it. But yeah. But yeah, I understand like the whole. Yes, the video, the 100 years, you're going to be obsolete. Right. Well, and here's that thing. Savior ever. I am Heidi. You don't even know. I do. Natural sweeteners are good. It's true though. In 100 years, everything about us is going to be obsolete. I can only hope that I leave an impact for my children. That's what matters to me, right? And it's not that I want, like I've never been that parent that wanted to like control my children's lives. I just wanted to be able to let them have a piece of me, like they're going to inherit a whole YouTube channel of universal wisdom and like notebooks galore. Like I have right now maybe 24 notebooks of universal wisdom, and that's still growing. Like that doesn't end, right? So they're like that's all I want, is to be able to give my kids the codes, the keys that I learned. So whatever it is that they're learning about what they need to learn, like that they can do that, right? Like when I was younger, I tried to do all the scrapbooks for my kids and I just could never keep up with it. I was running after 3 boys all the time. Like I couldn't keep up with it. So this is my scrapbook of life for them. And it's funny because they've each been in a video on this channel too. So they've all been a part of it. Like this has been a family thing as much as they've wanted to. So yeah. You had to change your eating habits too, because we're not getting younger. Things are changing. It is, absolutely. Okay, I'm going to keep going on this. So we've got the dry ingredients here. In the mixer, we're going to put the 2 large eggs we have at room temperature. And a 1/2 cup of sugar. Here, I'll use my 1/2 cup instead of 1/4. And then I have, it's a whole stick, which is a 1/2 cup of butter, melted and cooled. Add that. Oh, by the way, Heidi, I got this mixer for my birthday this year from Amazon, of all places. 1/2 cup of milk, and this will be at room temperature as well. I always use whole milk. If I can get my hands on raw milk one day, I'll use that. And we want to use a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Okay, so we're going to mix the liquid ingredients, including the sugar, until it's all mixed together. Yes, it is unsalted butter. Yeah, it's really quiet mixer too. Like literally the microphone is right here and you can still barely hear it. Okay, so I'm going to change this, the attachment. There's egg in here. I made the mistake of using this whisking attachment to mix the dry stuff, dry mix in here. And it was such a disaster. It was such a mess. All right, so then we're going to put the dry ingredients in here with the wet ingredients. Knowing me, that thing would have. So now I'm going to use the paddle. I've learned a lot about baking, and my ancestors actually came, it was only three generations back. So my great grandparents came over the pond and settled in Pittsburgh, Kansas, and opened one of the first bakeries there. And my mom still has the book, the bakery, the recipes. Yeah, I'm like, I got to get that book from her. Like, I need these recipes. So we're going to mix the dry ingredients in, and like, we don't want to over mix it, but it's going to thicken up. We just want to make sure it's good and combined. And so you'll see as the paddle comes up how like it's still kind of sticking, but it drips, right? So it's just a little thick muffin batter. That's the consistency we're looking for. So now, so the original recipe of this only called for a cup of strawberries. And my Henri loves strawberries. So I do like a cup and a half of strawberries, which I have tiny chopped up, whole bunch. Ew. What happened here? There was like a whole bunch of weird messages that happened. I'm so confused at what's happening here. Yeah, I don't know what was going on, but okay. So it is. I really want to get that book. Unfortunately, my mom and I are not speaking with each other right now, so it's my brother's like, I'll get it for you, but I hope that changes someday. Okay, so we throw the strawberries in with the batter, and we're just going to fold the strawberries in. You don't want to like over mush those strawberries because yeah, it'll get all juicy and like weird, but like make sure all the ingredients, I'm seeing some stuff that did not mix very well, so I'm just making sure that all the ingredients are mixed in well here. These strawberries are holding up like beautifully nice. That was really weird. Yeah, they were saying something terrible about you, Simone, but yeah. It's insane. Tarot Destroyer. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, Henri's here to comment through Love and Science. Okay, so once we have the strawberries folded in, let's see. You know what, Melissa? I need a lot of, like, I have a list. I have a gift list that I, like, all the things that I want to get for baking. Absolutely. Because this has been, like, I've always been a good cook. I've always, always have been a good cook, but the baking I've never really tried because I've always heard it was like too hard to do. And it is, I mean, like it takes patience, but I have tons of patience now. So I thought I might as well try it. And it seems to be that I'm a natural. So we're just gonna take it and run, which is kind of nice. You know what? And that's funny. I don't have that KitchenAid to have the attachments in the front, but I actually saw a pasta maker, like an actual machine that I want to get too. That was another thing. I want to make our own. I want to make our own pasta. Also, I think that that's a really good idea. This makes 12 muffins. Hi, Gay Royal. Too much food, not enough walking. I don't know what you mean by that, Wilma. I hope you're not being rude. Oh yeah, that's the front that comes off on the KitchenAid. And I wanted to get a KitchenAid, but I didn't have like $300 to spend on a KitchenAid. So this is just the beginning model that I have. You got to start somewhere sometimes, and that's where I started with this one. And it works. Like, it's really quiet, and like the bigger, like yesterday, it wasn't able to knead the bread because the bread was too heavy. So I had to knead the bread myself, which is fine. Like, it gives me good upper arm strength. That's pretty funny. They're really good. I'm excited. I mean, like, these are some of my favorites. Okay. I'm not going to I'll probably have one of them and that's it. But, okay. So out of this batter, after we mix in the strawberries, you're going to want to take 6 tablespoons out. So it's 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. Okay. Sometimes with my ADD, I just got to stop talking and concentrate. Otherwise, I'll totally miss a step. Yeah. My oldest son actually works. He works in the catering side of a barbecue place back in Kansas City. I know that sounds a little cliche, that, and it actually is like one of the old Kansas City favorite barbecue places that he works at. But yeah, I mean, both the boys actually can cook. My middle son, his girlfriend is Vietnamese, and so he's actually learned how to make a lot of Asian dishes as well. And they'll cook. They've come over and cooked some things several times. So yeah, there's my boys are pretty good cooks as well. I think it just sort of runs in the family to be We have a lot of Venetian qualities in my family. Like all of my boys are musical. They all sing and they all play instruments, several instruments, not just one. And yeah, we all cook as well. And I taught them, like I have pictures of all three of them standing up at the stove and helping me cook dinner at least once in their lives. So yeah, I mean, like they've all sort of, we just have all these Venetian qualities about my whole family. It's pretty funny. I thought about that before. Who is this person? Like, how do they keep coming back in? It's so weird, that tarot destroyer person. That's so strange. Baking with my grandma here in Southeast Georgia is how I learned how to cook. Oh, yeah. Yeah, trying different things in different cultures too. That's another thing I want to start learnings like outside, because I can like I'm a Kansas City girl. I can barbecue. I make all of the like those home cooked meals, you know, homemade chicken noodle soup, and of course dumplings as well. Like the pot roast things, like all of that stuff. I do like any kind of soup. Like give me a soup, I can do it. It's pretty insane. Okay, so now we're going to assemble everything. And I have my extremely old muffin pans. And we're going to do the little trick that I have. So I spray the coconut oil on the pan first. This helps to keep the little cupcake things, helps to keep them stuck to the bottom. And if there's any overflow, it won't stick to the pan. Hey, babe, can you move the mixer for me? That would be awesome. Move the mixer.
Where am I putting it?
Just back over there in the corner. It's plugged in. Thank you. Okay. And I fill the cups. The recipe is like 2.5 tablespoons of batter. And I can see that actually. I use like an ice cream scoop, which I'm gonna get now. Which is like an ice cream scoop ladle is like a perfect size to fill the batter. So let me move things so you guys can actually see what I'm doing here. Let me use these. Put that in there. I'm like, what the heck am I doing right now? Lost my mind. So the eclipse that's coming up, the lunar eclipse happening in Taurus, is ending the cycle that we had with the nodes in Taurus and Scorpio. So this is ending that 1.5 cycle, 18-month cycle. And so there's a story that is ending, and I don't have the dates on me right now, but I want to say that it was like May of 2022. It was either April or May of 2022 when the nodes changed to Taurus and Scorpio. And we had a Scorpio eclipse at the end of 2021 or something. So I could be wrong with that, what I'm thinking, but like thinking back on the last 1.5 years, and you know, if you know what house Taurus is in for you, you can kind of see the themes of that house and like the closure that's happening there with it. For me, it's the 8th house. Taurus is in my 8th house. So 8th house themes are taboo topics like sex and death and the occult. And it's also joint resources, people that you have joint resources with, as well as Social Security, taxes, any kind of, like if you're getting any kind of benefits from the government. And what's really funny is finding out that I have this terminal cancer, my medications are really, really expensive. Like there's no, even if I had regular insurance, even if I was able to, because I probably could get like way discounted insurance too, even if I could, my medications would still be way too pricey for me to pay for. Like insurance companies won't pay for them. So got on Medicaid, right? So this is the first year that I've been on Medicaid since the last time the nodes were in Taurus and Scorpio. And that's when my second son was born, Aiden. So, and that was like back in 2003. So yeah, there's definitely like a theme that comes along with these nodal shifts and these eclipses that are happening. And these eclipses are very Venusian ruled eclipses and ruled by Venus and Virgo. So what stories have you guys been seeing, like closures and stuff in your own lives? Bye, Paige. Hugs. Love you. Thanks for hanging out. Yes. I was right. Well, and I think, didn't we have a Scorpio eclipse at the end of 2021? Because we were starting to move over, or am I wrong about that? Because we were starting to move over to the Taurus Scorpio axis. They were blood moons. Yeah. So you can, and what's really interesting is at the beginning of this year, also right before the nodes shifted to Aries and Libra, that's when we were evicted and we were like literally in other people's property, other people's resources. And Henri and I are both Libra rising. So we go through the same transits, the same, like, I feel like I need to tell you guys that being in a relationship with someone who is the same rising sign of you as you is challenging because you guys are literally going through the same transits together. And he and I both have a lot of Sagittarius and Virgo energy in our charts too. So we really literally go through the same up and down. Yeah, November 2019. And that's the thing. It's like, but yeah, so we go through the same transits. And so we've been dealing with like how to, and my Chiron is in Taurus in the 8th house. And so I had to deal with the North Node being on my Chiron. And also, so like I really had to learn how to like not be the victim of circumstances when it came to other people's resources, when it came to having to go on benefits, because like I'm on food stamps and I'm on Medicaid, and like I applied for disability and I was denied disability because for some reason the government thinks that they can tell me like what that actually means, you know, like what my disability means for me, which is like so weird. But yeah, like there were so many 8th house themes that happened for me when the North Node was in Taurus. So now that the North Node is in Aries in my 7th house, it's been like finding and really Henri and I are both like finding our independence within our relationship, which is pretty easy for us to do because we came into this relationship as very independent people, and like had the conversation where it was like, we are not going to like hold each other down. Like that's not what this relationship is going to be about. That's old news relationships. Okay. So we have all 12 of these filled. And because the batter is thick enough, we will, the Aries. Oh, thank you. But it really hasn't been that rough. I feel like it would have been worse if we weren't together, like going through the eviction and having to find like a new place to, like it took us 3 months, I think, 3 whole months. April, May, 3 months, because we left in the middle of February to find a place to live. Like it was really hard to do that, but we were really blessed with a lot of Jupiters transiting our 8th house right now. So we were blessed with a lot of people who wanted to help us. Okay, so now we're going to make like little holes in the middle of these muffins because we want to put the cream cheese in there. So and the muffin batter should be thick enough that you can actually like build a hole by moving the batter up against the walls. And so this Taurus eclipse that's coming up also will have Mars and Mercury that are both in Scorpio now. Mercury will be in Scorpio by then. Wait, am I wrong? Hold on, I got to think. Mars and I think it is Mercury. Mars and Mercury will be opposite, or Mars is opposite Jupiter. There's Mars and Mercury are both opposite Jupiter during this eclipse. I'll have to look at the thing, but that's what it is. Mars and Mercury are both opposite Jupiter, and Jupiter is in Taurus where the eclipse is happening. So I can see that a lot of things are like ending and beginning at the same time. Yeah. I feel like I'm just adding a well here inside. But that's what I think I'm going to do the readings on that, the tarot readings on, like for each sign, we'll just do the eclipse readings for each sign, like what it is that you're surrendering or what it is that, and normally this is something that I would actually do for my Patreon members. So this isn't something I would normally do here, but I would do it for my Patreon members too. So if that's something that you would be interested in, that's probably the best way to support us. I know that times are hard right now. But yeah, again, just a reminder, I was denied my disability. So I got to keep on making money somehow. And I'm trying to do, like, I want to do things that I enjoy, I love doing this. Like, I wish that I could just do this every single day and work for free and just be like, that would be awesome. If I could do that for the rest of my life, read tarot and hang out with you guys and make delicious foods. That would be so much fun. So if anybody wants to fund, my endeavors, I'm going to wash my hands. I'm going to take a really quick break, you guys, just to run to the little girl's room. And then we're going to fill up these muffins. And so I'll be right back. Oh, yeah. Our eclipse, like removing something out of your life. Yeah, hold on. Sorry, there's something in my phone. So yeah, eclipse season is about closing chapters in your life, and creating space. And it's also a time, like my ancestors, my Native American ancestors, believed that it was a time to honor traditions. It was a time to, it's like not, we really make it a fanfare, especially when you can see the eclipse, like the last one, the Libra one, when you can see that, like everybody makes it like such a big deal and everything is like, let's go out and look at the eclipse. And like my ancestors just didn't believe in making, because it was more of a quiet, like honoring the time of release and cleansing yourself and cleansing your home and honoring your traditions and like being with family and stuff like that, just because it's a closeout time. So yeah, so cutting things out. And, I don't really obsess about what that means. Like, if, usually you can see the pattern before it happens. Usually you can see like what is meant to be leaving your life before it actually happens. Sometimes we just don't admit it, right? We just don't want to admit it. Yeah. You're welcome. Okay, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to leave my microphone here. You guys are not coming to the bathroom with me, but I will be right back. Yeah, just took a break. Yeah, I'm good. Okay. All right. We're back. Okay. So now we're going to put about a teaspoon of the cream cheese. I'm a little bit more generous than that. Into the little holes of the muffins. And honestly, I'm just going to use my finger because I just washed my hands. Plus, it's Henri, so he doesn't care. And so like, I don't know if you guys can see, but I'm like kind of just putting a little ball of cream cheese. I'm actually going to add a little more. The cream cheese mixture. And then when we're done with this, we'll take that extra batter that we pulled out and we'll cover the cream cheese with the batter. I'm like, let's get these muffins in here so we can get tarot. I'm already getting messages for some of you, which is funny, but I'm just going to do signs today. I don't think I'm going to do, just because my energy is a little wonky And doing like one-on-one readings takes a little bit more effort than just doing collective. I hope you guys understand. All right. Okay, so now we have the batter that we had pulled out after we folded in the strawberries. And we're going to do about a half a tablespoon on top, just right on top of the cream cheese, and kind of spread it around a little. Smush it down in there. It'll settle on its own, but you know, sometimes you just gotta help it along. When I'm making my edibles, I wear gloves. My medicinal cookies, which I have some beautiful Halloween cookies and brownies. If anybody wants to have some Halloween treats, I have a little extra. We're going to be mailing them out on Monday, so everybody can have them for Halloween. I've got brownies and cookies and tincture. Oh, I think I put too much on here. Hold on. I messed up a little, you guys. I was being too generous to these muffins. Hold on. I gotta fix my mess. I always try to leave extra batter too, because I tend to do silly things like this, like not pay attention. I told you, I'm not a professional baker. Just do my best. Yeah, I really did myself in here. Hold on. I put way too much. Wow. Okay. See if I can get enough for 2 more here. It's going to cut it real close. Let's see, one of these is going to have to share. The one thing I love about desserts is even if they look funny and terrible, they still taste delicious. I mean, I'm not trying to win a prize. So, okay. And so then we get the crumbles from the fridge. Somebody said that last week, that they wish they could have smell-o-vision. Nice cold crumbles. Okay, so then we're going to generously add some crumbles to the top of each muffin. Be very generous with the crumbles. I always have extra crumbles too at the end, so you don't have to put them all on. But they do separate. Like when the muffins rise, the crumbles do separate. So you think that you're not really, you're like, oh, well, I don't want to put too much, but they do like move around. So you think that it's too much, and then you're like, oh, I get it. I see. Baking is a science. I used to hate science. All right. So now we're going to put them in the oven. I got to get this pan out I used yesterday in here. There's water in it. I don't want to ruin the glass. Wow. Smart, 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 Betsy. Okay, let me clean up my space. 22 minutes. We'll turn that oven light on. And in 22 minutes, we'll have some delicious cupcakes. Let me get this all cleaned up, and we'll do some taro. Oh, there they are. Thanks for hanging out, you guys. This is always really fun to do. I used to like rush through lives, you know, and like I love just hanging out and baking and I think the baby's trying to get out of the room. She wants to get out so bad. Bring my chair up here. I sprayed that coconut oil, and so my floor is really slippery. Okay, let me get situated. Oh, good. Oh, you're cleaning your kitchen too? It is a love and science. All right. Sil actually gifted me these cards many, many years ago. What is the name of your special flower that you purchase? It is Bob's Red Mill. Bob's Red Mill pastry flower. But he's got several different kinds of different flours. He makes the bread flour, which has like the extra protein glutens in it. And he makes the all-purpose, and there's like an organic all-purpose flour also. So yeah, but it's Bob's Red Mill. Let me get my water. Okay, so for the eclipse, we are first going to, I'm going to shuffle through here, and I have all of the signs in this little deck, all 12 of the signs. And so the deck is going to pick the sign that I'm going to read. Oh, hi. Hi, Lizzie. How are you? Oh, yeah, that's going to happen. Okay. So I'm going to shuffle this first. So pick what sign first. Okay. Both. Actually, if you want to watch for your rising sun and moon, to be honest, you could watch for all of them if you really wanted to. I'm not baking gluten-free because Henri is not gluten-free, and these muffins are for him. So yeah, not baking gluten-free. Not doing that. I probably wouldn't bake gluten-free anyways. I understand, like, it does make me swell up, the gluten protein. It does inflame my body, and that's why I don't eat a lot of it. You know, like, I'm not eating gluten. I don't really think that I do every day. I have been a lot lately. I crave it sometimes, crave bread. Like yesterday, I did eat some of those Mexican bolillo rolls because they were delicious. You substitute? Good. Okay, so first sign we're going to read. Oh, look at that, Aries. The first sign we're going to read is Aries. I'm actually going to move my computer up a little bit now that we are done. I fixed the whole issue with losing the camera when I move things. So just so you guys can see the cards better. Here we are. So first is Aries. We're going to get a surrender card, Aries. What is it that you're surrendering for the Taurus eclipse? Sun, moon, and rising. Oh, you got 2 surrender cards, Aries. Oh, interesting. Okay. Surrender your addictions, whether you're addicted to substances, food, people, sex, or overworking. Take action to begin to heal the addiction and replace it with healthier alternatives. Surrender your addictions. Oh, did Sil leave? Oh, ordering lunch. Surrender to receiving support and love. So your other card, Aries, is surrender to receiving support and love. Allow the love and support of others in rather than trying to handle everything yourself. This can take the pressure off and simultaneously nurture you. Surrender to receiving support and love, and surrender your addictions, Aries, Sun, moon, and rising. Interesting. Okay. Some of you are dealing with an Aquarius or an air sign. There's a lot of swords here. I have the Star, which would be the Aquarius energy, the Queen of Swords, and the Ace of Swords. Okay, I'm going to say this again, everybody. Miss Serendipity, listen up. These cards, this deck right here, are choosing the signs. I am not choosing the signs. This deck of cards is choosing the signs. And so if you want a sign to come up, bring the energy for it, okay? It's not up to me. It's up to spirit, all right? Calling out signs isn't going to work here. Just letting you know, I'm not choosing, okay? I know that Pisces feels left out all the time because you're the last sign in the zodiac. I get it. I understand. That does not mean that people forget about you just because you're the last sign in the zodiac. I have never forgotten about doing Pisces readings. Okay. Aries, back to the Aries reading. So I feel like there is a conversation that needs to be had. And I feel like this conversation that needs to be had is leading you to your purpose and you know, what I want you guys to understand is we have a lot of different journeys that we're going to travel and a lot of different purposes, a lot of different things that we're going to be doing in this lifetime. And so having your mindset that this is what you want your purpose to look like and this is what you want your direction to go in, that's going to cut it out every single time, right? So I do feel like this is kind of a stepping stone to your purpose, but you're very, like, this Ace of Swords and Queen of Swords here, you're very, very sharp and determined. And I almost want to say that you're kind of snappy. Like, I feel like you're a little bit snappy about some things. So let's see, the Star, clarify, Queen of Swords, Ace of Swords. Yeah, okay. Nine of Cups on the Star card, same energy. Both those cards are the same energy. This is what you want. This is what your soul is going for. This is the direction that you want to lead in, right? Sometimes overindulging in what it is that you want for your future allows you to have more joy than thinking about, like, all of the things you're going to have to do to get there. Like, I love fantasizing about things I want in the future. Someday I want to have like a 5-bedroom house on like 30 acres of land. And I want to be able to have a garden that has my own fruits and vegetables, or my own vegetables at least, and some fruits, whatever I can grow there, and do all of those things. So it's like, you know, I dream about that. And sometimes I think about the things that I'm going to have to do, because it's not like, yes, the destination is great. We have a lot of destinations in life, but what we would love, you know, what you have to remember is all of the little things that come up along the way. Those are equally important. Like, the journey to get to the destination is just as important as what you're trying to manifest. So that 9 of Cups on the Star, like, allow yourself, like, this feels like Aries needs to have a little bit more fun in life. 3 of Cups on the Queen of Swords. Like, I feel like you're coming out as the Queen of Swords, and it's really time for Aries to start reconnecting with friends and reconnecting with like-minded individuals and people that care about them, and, you know, doing the joy stuff, right? Like, allowing that joy stuff to come along. And then we have the 4 of Wands on the Ace of Swords. So the Ace of Swords feels like a conversation. Sometimes that conversation brings knowledge, and that's what the Ace of Swords energy is. It's about whatever you're talking about or whatever you're doing right now. The mental capacity is the knowledge. And so there's this stability that's coming from whatever conversation that's coming up. I feel like Aries has a lot of opportunities right now. So keep yourself open. Keep yourself open to the opportunities. That is the dream, Syl. That is the dream. All right, let's see what the next sign is. Shuffling, shuffling. If you want your sign to come up, tune in. You guys know how this works. It's not my energy, it's yours. Tune in. All right, next sign is Cancer. Nice. So look at that beauty. So those cardinal signs really want to be heard right now. Let's see what your surrender card is. Cancer, for this eclipse, what is your surrender card? Oh, whew. Surrender the idea you can fix someone. It's time for a relationship to shift. It doesn't work to try to fix someone. Each person must be accountable for his or her own healing. Cancer. All right, so surrender the idea that you can fix someone. Okay. So the first card that came out was the Tower. Some of you, I hate when this happens, but it is eclipse season. Some of you are going to be single because of the petty arguments just won't stop. Like, that's, I'm going to say it. We have the Tower. We have the 9 of Pentacles And we have the Five of Wands. Yeah, just some of you, I mean, like, that's all, like, I mean, this is the Nine of Pentacles represents Venus and Virgo. And Venus and Virgo is very independent with themselves. Like Venus and Virgo, like, doesn't necessarily need other people. Their love language is being, you know, they like it when other people are being of service to them, making their lives easier, right? And this feels like you just want to, like Cancer, you just want to escape, and you really just want your life to be a little bit easier. So let's see what's coming crumbling down. So Cancer, you're dealing with an earth sign. And that's what's coming crumbling down. The King of Pentacles on the Tower. I think that you're realizing right now, like, you can't fix this person, right? This is not somebody that you're going to be able to fix. There's like the surrender, the idea that you can fix someone. You know, I used to be someone that really looked at the potential of people and wanted to fix them so that they would rise to the occasion, so that they could see their own potential. But it only took away from energy from my life. And I wasn't able to lift myself up because I was so focused on trying to fix somebody else's life. So it's time for you to let go whoever you need to let go of. Nine of Swords on the Nine of Pentacles. And this is what's going to, like, I understand the fear and the stress of having to go it alone and doing it alone. And here's the thing is, with the Eight of Pentacles on the Five of Wands, I think that some of you Cancers are still going to keep trying to work on this relationship. I think some Cancers are going to continue to keep on working on this relationship, even through the petty arguments and stuff. The one thing that I will say, like, I am all for people working on relationships, especially, like, even if you're arguing a lot. If you're arguing a lot, but you guys are able to grow from the disagreements, like, that's the biggest thing about relationships, you guys. And this is for everybody, not just for Cancers. But when it comes to, you know, working on relationships, if you both are willing to grow through the process and evolve through the process, every single partnership argues. Even friendships, that happens with friendships. It happens with family members. It happens with every relationship that you have. You're going to have some kind of, like, disagreement or discourse or something within the relationship. And it's kind of like a square in astrology. Everybody doesn't like the squares because they're really uncomfortable. The squares in astrology suck. But with those squares in astrology, they challenge us. Those squares are what makes us better. Conjunctions and trines and sextiles. Well, sextiles are kind of work, but not really. But like those easy ones, we don't even really have to pay attention. We're just so happy. It's like we don't even have to pay attention to that. But those squares are going to challenge you. And that's exactly how relationships are. Relationships are going to challenge you. Of course you can watch. So yeah, and they're meant to. If you are not evolving and growing in your relationship and you're stagnant, you know, even in oppositions, because it's a relationship, those oppositions are challenging too. And they're meant to show you how to see the other perspective. That's what oppositions do. So when your mind is a little bit more open to that, and that's what I feel like, Cancer. I feel like what your reading is saying is that you're really, really stressed out. You need to let this other person fix themselves. That doesn't mean that you don't keep on working on the relationship. You can stay in the relationship, but I think some of you actually are worried that you're going to end up alone because you feel like you can't fix this. I don't know what's happening with Chris the fish. So if you guys can just keep an eye on that, because I don't know. what's going on with that one. Let's see what the next sign is that we're looking at. Those muffins smell really good, by the way. There's only 4 minutes left. Ooh, they're nice and fluffy and big. Oh, Capricorn. You guys just flew on out. I love this card. Capricorn is next. Look at that beauty. All right, Capricorn, let's get you a surrender card. Page left before Capricorn was being done. That sucks. All right, surrendering. I'll have to tell her. It's like 1:30, an hour and 30 minutes. That's when I did Capricorn. Surrender to play. Oh, you Capricorns need this one. Take a break from overthinking a goal. Do something fun. Playtime. Play is a time of recreation and rejuvenation. Surrender to play. Capricorns. Okay. Let's see, Capricorn. What's going on for this eclipse? Okay. Okay. We got the 7 of Swords, the World, and the 4 of Pentacles for Capricorn. I feel like, oh, wow, you guys, this is really funny. So I feel like you guys are really, really holding on to like everything. I feel like you're in survival mode. That's what this feels like. I feel like you're in survival mode. And I also feel like you're kind of paranoid. Now, could it be absolutely true and real that maybe somebody is stealing something from you? It could very well be that someone's stealing like intellectual property also, or your ideas in some way or something like that. But I think that's why you're like hoarding everything. But I also feel like there's an ending of a cycle that's happening here. And I think that you have, for some reason, this is just coming up. I don't know who this is for, but someone has a lot of trauma and PTSD when it comes to survival mode. So that means that you've been homeless before in the past, or you have really had to struggle to make ends meet before, and you've had the rug pulled out from underneath you several times. Like trauma and PTSD with survival, you know, having to survive is a very real thing. And so I feel like there's like a chapter ending when it comes to some kind of survival mode that you're in. Let's see. All right, hold on a second. Oh, here it is. I don't know where my other one went. Oh, it's all stuck. Oh, nice. These just need a couple more minutes, I think. Yeah, they look really good. I'm going to put them on for 3 more minutes. So I need to make a note. 25 minutes. Okay, so the Queen of Swords came out to clarify the 7 of Swords. And so I don't know if you're dealing with an air sign as well, or if it's just like you feel very sharp about things. But the Queen of Swords on the 7 of Swords, like that woman is putting an ending to whatever she feels like is being stolen from her in a really big way. That was really interesting. I thought there was another card that came out here. Okay. We got to clarify the 4 of Pentacles. There we go. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, wow. All right. 2 of Cups on the World. And which is really interesting. Again, so the 2 of Cups for me yes, this can be about a relationship that you feel like you were betrayed in a really big way. But I also feel, because the Two of Cups for me is just about soulmate. So this could be a best friend. This could be like a partnership or something like that. But this feels kind of like there's the ending of a cycle in a friendship. Okay, there feels like there's an ending of a cycle in a friendship. I'm going to skip ads that were coming up here just for that one because we're in the middle of the reading. But and so I feel like there is this is so funny because when I was doing the actual readings, I did all the mid-month readings just recently on Patreon. So if you want to check out what your mid-month reading is going to look like, but there were so many endings that were happening for like every single sign. Like, I can't, like, it's incredible, like what's going on right now. So what I feel like, and this is what I feel like for this reading is the same what I said for the Taurus eclipse, because on the Four of Pentacles, we have 3 cards clarifying: the Moon, the Empress, and the Queen of Wands. And so Capricorn, I feel like what you're not necessarily seeing here is how much opportunity and how much freedom and how much growth and how much expansion is going to happen once you rid yourself of certain friendships in your life. There are certain connections, Capricorn, that you have in your life that are holding you back, my friend. And it's time. Like, that's why you feel like you have to hold on to everything. That's why you feel like things are being stolen from you all the time, because they are. Because the people that are around you right now are not on the up and up. And so this very much feels like it's time for you to really watch for yourself. And because I feel like there's a big creative flow for you on the other side of this eclipse in a really big way. I'm going to shuffle those two. Okay. Be careful here, babe. It's really slick.
Yeah.
I'm going to clean it after we're done. I just don't want anybody to fall. I think they might actually need a couple more minutes. They look really good, but I just don't think they're quite done yet. Okay. I'm going to shuffle these up too so we get the energy moving around a little. All right, let's see what the next sign is. Yeah, I think Capricorn, that just like, I'm going to keep on thinking about that. I think that it's time for you to reevaluate the people that are around you and who's helping and who's hurting, because I feel like there's something that's holding you back. All right. The next sign we have is Libra. Nice. These cards are so pretty. Get the chapstick. Remember, you can watch these for your sun, moon, and rising. Okay, Libra, let's get a surrender card. These cards are so big, it's hard for my little tiny hands to hold them. Okay, 2 surrender cards for Libra. Ooh, nice. Surrender to miracles. Nice. Surrender to miracles. Be open to miracles occurring in your life. Feel and know that these events are real. Let go of any resistance and banish any doubt that miracles can happen. And surrender negative thinking. So these go hand in hand really well together. You have control over your thoughts. When negative thoughts surface, say thank you for sharing and quickly refocus on positive affirmations. Okay. I'm going to shuffle these a couple more times. Surrender to miracles. I needed to hear those too, to be quite honest. I'm a Libra rising. And I've really been trying to do that too, like the whole surrendering to miracles, because it happens all the time. Like, and it's always last minute, which is the most annoying part. Like, can we have miracles happen like way before I have to get stressed out about it? Oh, wow. You guys saw me shuffle, by the way. You saw me shuffle. Something is ending here for you guys. I don't know if it's a belief system or something, but something is definitely, surrendering to miracles. I claim that message too. Okay, these are definitely good now. So 28 minutes. I got to remember that for the recipe. 28 minutes. When they cool off, I will give you guys a glimpse. Right now, they're really friggin' hot. Oh, Syl, why do you have to be so logical? Okay, so this is, man, I don't even want to do this Libra reading. Hopefully the clarifiers are good. We have the Tower. We have the Death card. And we have the Three of Swords. Wow. Which is funny because, like, this ain't happening right now here. So please, yeah. Like, Henri are both Libra risings. And I'm like, I really hope that this is not a thing. But something feels like it's ending. And it feels pretty painful. Like, and I feel like it's a foundation. And you know what's funny with the Tower and the Death card? Like, this really had to shift. Something had to change. Something had to shift here. But it looks pretty painful. It looks like there are going to be a lot of emotions spilled. I don't like to go directly to third-party situations when I get the Three of Swords. We'll see what's going on. But for some of you, that might be what is happening. Having a third-party situation. The third-party situation doesn't have to be another person. It could be work. It could be anything that you're addicted to. It could be anything that you're obsessed with. That could be a third-party situation as well. Anything that's taking away from the relationship can also be a third-party situation. So let's see here. Oh, wow. Okay, so that wanted to clarify the Tower. The Death card. Oh, nice. Okay. Okay. All right. I can breathe a little more. Oh, wow. There's two that came out. Okay. Okay. So we have the Four of Pentacles with the Chariot on the Death card. So it feels, for some of you, you're moving. With the Chariot, you're either going on a trip or you're moving or you're going somewhere. For some of you, this is just about your journey. The Four of Pentacles, a lot of times right now, I'm feeling like it's very, like I'm holding on to everything that I have because life is really hard right now. Like, that's the way that I see the Four of Pentacles. Like, everybody can say that it's a miserly old man, but I feel like that's kind of judgmental. Actually, I know that's really weird to say, but the Four of Pentacles and the Chariot on the Tower. So there's a foundation that has to fall down, and that foundation has to fall so that things can get moving again. That's what it feels like. So something can get moving again. The Magician came out to clarify the Death card. This is why I was like, I really hope that, like, good things come out. The Magician came out to clarify the Death card. So this feels like a full transmutation of some kind of energy. When we're talking about transmuting energy, this feels like you're transmuting something that's negative into a positive. You're creating something that wasn't working and you're transmuting it into something that is working or does work. And then we got the Fool on the Three of Swords. And that Fool card is about having faith. That dude doesn't know where he's going. He doesn't even know if he keeps walking off that cliff, if he's going to fall off the cliff or there's going to be something that he can step onto or whatever, right? Like that. So whatever it is that has to come in and kind of break you down a little bit. And this feels very internal Pluto business. This feels like that transfer. This feels like a transformation. And so whatever it is that's coming in that's kind of breaking your faith a little bit or making you feel like your heart's broken, that the universe spirit is literally asking you to have faith with it. Have faith to know that whatever is breaking down is going to be rebuilt. It will be rebuilt again, and it's just going to look different. And so this goes right along with the surrender to miracles. Because what you don't understand here is, like, you could be dealing with this, like we could go through the signs, Scorpio, Cancer, we have Sagittarius, Gemini, Virgo, Aries, like we could go through all the signs. You could be dealing with a number of people. But more than anything, this feels like you've learned some particular lessons and you're also learning how to transmute the pain of those particular lessons and having faith to move forward. All right. I get it. Sil, fudge is absolutely right. Like, ew. What an ew reading. Okay. Eclipse. What's the next sign for the eclipse that we're going to read? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, and that's definitely death energy. Those last Pluto degrees going through Capricorn is definitely death. Capricorn and Scorpio energy is much closer than you would think. Oh, look at that. So look at you, Diane. You said something in the chat and now we have Virgo. I told you guys, if you put your energy out there, it'll come through. So Virgo is next in what it is that we're going to be surrendering. My voice is going to crack now because I'm going to be like, oh, Virgo, yay. What are we surrendering for this eclipse? Oh, wow. Surrender your addictions. Interesting. I got to think about that now. Oh, I know what it is. That makes so much sense for me. Ugh. Whether you're addicted to substances, food, people, sex, or overworking, take action to begin to heal the addiction and replace it with healthier alternatives. You know, the Taurus and Scorpio axis is the one where the addictions come from. That second house, eighth house. We also find addictions in the sixth house as well. I think that we find the OCD part of addictions, like the repetitive nature of addictions in the sixth house, like because it's a part of your routine. Overthinking is an addiction for sure. For sure, overthinking is an addiction. So that makes sense. For me, I'm trying to substitute my Diet Coke addiction with tea. So I've been drinking a lot of tea lately, trying to like get rid of, because I cannot drink the stuff anymore. I'm going to order this probiotic soda called Olipop. So yeah. All right. Surrendering addictions for Virgo. Let's see. What is it that's happening with the eclipse? Okay. Venus in Virgo showing up again. Venus in Virgo is showing up again. Okay, so we're grieving. We're grieving. 5 of Cups. And the Queen of Wands. And the 9 of Pentacles. So, and what's interesting is in the Virgo reading, like the beginning of the October Virgo reading, it was about not feeling like you were alone in this process. And then In the mid Virgo reading, it was also about feeling pretty alone on that as well. I'm on week. Oh, wow. Good for you. Yeah. Poppy soda is a really good alternative too. Yes, I heard of that as well. Thank you. Very much. But so you're going through the grieving process right now, and it could be about a fire sign, but I also feel like the reason why the Queen of Wands showed up is because it's, that's a really fiery emotional energy. And I feel like what's happening, because it feels like it's the feminine energy of transmutation, right? Like that's what the Queen of Wands is. She transmutes energy through fire, right? Like going through the fire. That's how she transmutes the energy. So the Five of Cups is very much the grieving card. And the Nine of Pentacles is very much feeling like you're alone. For some of you, like for me, the Queen of Wands, like this is my moon sign. I'm still trying. This is a very interesting spread, but I think it's still going along that line of Virgo feeling very alone through this eclipse season. And when Virgos are alone, they overthink, because we build stories in our minds that like nobody else could possibly create, like everybody. Let's see, Five of Cups. Oh, Queen of Wands. Wow. Okay. Get it. Okay. The Emperor and the King of Cups is clarifying the Five of Cups. So there is a masculine energy here that feels like it's a little bit like, I don't want to say that it's controlling. Like the Emperor energy, this like really went into a very interesting turn. But the Emperor energy is kind of like dictator energy or boss energy, or like telling you that like I'm in charge and this is how it's going to go and this is how it's going to be. And then the King of Cups is very much like someone who doesn't really show a lot of emotions but has a lot of emotion. So I almost want to say that this grieving process is met with a little bit of manipulation. Also because we have the Five of Swords on the Queen of Wands. And this, it feels like the transmuting of energy is not being met well, or the sadness, the going through the grieving process is not being met very well. So Five of Swords on the Queen of Wands, but also that Five of Swords is like not seeing yourself very well. So I don't know if there's somebody in your life that's making you feel less than who you are. But at the end of the day, this feels like you need to take this grieving process and give yourself a break and like remove yourself from the opinions of others. I even put a meme up on Twitter or X or whatever the hell it is now. Put up a meme today that was something like for all opinions, I'm going to tell you, if you give me an opinion, I'm going to answer you with, did I fucking ask? Because like, I'm so tired of everybody's opinions. And I'm going to keep repeating that until they get the idea about it. But I feel like that's the kind of energy you need to have with people, is you need to look at them and be like, maybe you do need to be alone so that you can get through some things. Maybe you do need to. Sometimes Virgos, especially when Venus is in Virgo, we process things better on our own. But I feel like this eclipse is about you pausing, Virgo, And I feel like it's also about you giving yourself a little break. We have Temperance and the Hanged Man on the 9 of Pentacles. And that very much feels like the energy of, if you need to be alone, do not overthink. Give yourself a break. Give yourself a little bit of peace. Give yourself a little bit of pause. You'll be able to see things in a different way and process your emotions better when you're not constantly up in your monkey mind, right? This needs, like, you really got to drop into your heart space, because, like, I don't know what the Emperor and the King of Cups represents specifically, but this feels like somebody wants to be in charge of how you feel, to be quite honest. Like, that's kind of what that feels like there. And it feels a little manipulative, like, I'm not going to lie. So whatever it is that you're overthinking, if it has to do with another person that may be manipulating you with their emotions, then I want you to, like, separate yourself as much as possible if you can, if you're able to do that. The Hanged Man is very much about pausing and reflecting, and, you know, being able to give yourself grace when you're pausing and reflecting, instead of overthinking when you're pausing and reflecting, is, like, way better. All right, let's see what's next for Virgo. Oh, that's the one. Oh, look at that. Sagittarius. Popped right on out. Manipulation, my old friend. That's pretty funny. Hey, if you guys haven't hit that like button yet, do me a favor and hit it. You're welcome, Diane. All right, Sagittarius, you guys are up next. Look at this beauty with her bow and arrow. Sagittarius, for the eclipse, let's see what you guys are surrendering. Woohoo! Surrender unhealthy relationships. Let go of relationships that don't serve you, including unavailable or toxic people. You deserve to be treasured by others and to be surrounded by positive people. I know, my big 3 in a row. It's so weird. Surrender unhealthy relationships. Okay. I'm gonna shuffle these again really quick. You know what's funny too is when people, like, ask me about toxic relationships and stuff, and, like, what that means for them, and, like, what does it actually mean to be, is this really a toxic relationship, that kind of thing. And, like, I'm just going to say that anything that makes you feel really bad about yourself but doesn't ever lift you up, like, if you're with someone who, like, never lifts you up and never gives you props and never, like, is there, you know, like, is always kind of dragging you down and not lifting you up, like, that's a toxic relationship in a lot of ways, like, huge, right? So that's what that's kind of the biggest thing to look for. Sometimes abuse is very hidden in relationships. So, okay. All right. We have the 5 of Pentacles. We have the 4 of Wands, and we have the Judgment card for Sagittarius. So it is time for something to happen regarding your security and your safety. I just did that. I have strong Sagittarius placements. My Jupiter's in Sagittarius. I go, oh, wow. You just did. That's awesome. I was like, this feels weird, like, to be reading the sign with that. But it does. This feels like your stability. The Five of Pentacles is often a lack mentality or feeling kind of left out in the cold. But with the Four of Wands and the Judgment, this is that Five of Pentacles. I feel like Judgment is coming out and saying it's time for you to no longer feel like the Five of Pentacles. It's time for you to feel stable in your life. That Four of Wands is creating that stability in your life and, you know, being able to hold it, right? And then we have Judgment here, of course. So let's clarify. Oh, wow. You guys got the Venus and Virgo card too. I'm telling you that Nine of Pentacles has come out with every single reading. Like Venus is making herself known. Nine of Pentacles on the Knight of Pentacles. And here's the thing is like, we have all these Pentacles here. Five of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles. And so it's very much a step-by-step process that you're going to be taking in order to feel more like yourself again. But I feel like this is saying not to rush it. And it really does. It feels like going from the Five of Pentacles to the Nine of Pentacles is going to be quite the process and quite the journey. Because this is like not feeling good about yourself versus feeling very independent and abundant on your own. So there's definitely kind of like a bridge, a gap there that's happening. Then we have Justice on the Four of Wands. So there is something that's balancing this, whatever's happening, whatever like the surrendering the unhealthy relationship part is actually bringing a balance to your home. It's bringing some sort of justice, and that it is creating stability by you removing the unhealthy relationships around you, Sagittarius. You would be really, really surprised. Like, I actually have a Sagittarius friend who, you know, wanted to leave her very toxic husband for a long time. And she kept on thinking, like, that doesn't make sense. Like, why is the lesson that I have to leave the person that I had children with? Like, why is that the lesson? This doesn't make sense to me. And so she very recently did. And all of these opportunities opened up to her. The energy of opportunity and abundance and expansion is like all hers now. And she's a Sagittarius. And it's like, and it's incredible. And that's exactly what this Ace of Pentacles is. Because you're bringing balance to yourself, Sagittarius, that's when the money starts flowing in. When you bring balance in your home, and remember that it's not about feeling like you're not good. It's not about letting other people feel like you're not good enough. If somebody's making you feel like you're not good enough, that person needs to be removed from your life, or at least talk to and be like, why are you speaking to me? Like, why are you making me feel like I don't mean, like, those conversations are hard and you have to have them. But I do feel like the doors of success, aces are gifts from the universe. And the universe is like, it is time for you to have this abundance that I want to bring to you. So please remove the energy that is blocking you from abundance. All right. Let's see what we got going next. What is the next sign for the eclipse energy and eclipse reading? Leo. Leo. This is a great card too. She's like a warrior. All right. All right, Leo, let's see what surrender card, what it is that you are surrendering for the eclipse next weekend. Surrender procrastination. All right, Leo, now is the time to jump on a goal instead of putting it off. Taking action will attract success. Surrender procrastination, Leo. I mean, I get it. I think that I want to procrastinate on everything too right now. I really do. I think that it almost feels easier to procrastinate on some things. But I think that it adds stress to your life too. So now is the time, jumping on a goal. Yeah, get that creative process rolling. The Hierophant, wow, you guys got 3 major arcana. So listen up, Leo, this is big stuff. You got the Hierophant, you got the Star, and you have the Empress. 2 of these are very Venusian cards, speaking of Venus and it being a big Venus year. Venus was in Leo for damn near 3 months. That was quite a transit. And then we have the Star. So I feel like there's a level up happening. Once you're done procrastinating here, Leo, I feel like you're leveling up in the creative department and you're leveling up with your purpose as well. I would advise you to look at what's going on with your midheaven right now. I don't know why I need to ask you guys to do that. So if you're a Leo rising, oh, wow, that makes sense. Okay. So if you're a Leo rising, it's a Taurus midheaven. And that's what the eclipse is happening. So there's definitely some movement and there's some, so you know what, actually, this is very interesting. So there's some movement that's happening in the creative department for Leos. And I think that it's catapulting them towards their purpose and it's happening with this eclipse, but there's something that you're holding back on doing. And it's something that you actually want to do, but you're telling yourself that you can't do it. You're not good enough. Oh, wow. There's another Venus card here. 9 of Cups on the Hierophant. This really feels like, in a big way, this is a spiritual level up, and it's a spiritual level up that you've been wanting to have for a long time, but it's almost like you had to make the room for it to happen. And that's what the procrastination is. I don't even know that it's like fully your fault that it's been procrastinated. I think that there's needed to be room made in your life in order to do it. And part of that room that needs to be made is your own idea that you can do it. That 5 of Swords, remember the 5 of Swords is always us telling ourselves that we're not good enough and that we can't do it. But like the funny thing is, like I said in the beginning of this video when we were still cooking, like I don't worry about my fate anymore. Like it sucks. The journey that I have to take and what my fate and my destiny is, it sucks. But I know that I'm going to be taken care of through all of it, right? And so like, even if it's hard, I don't second guess it, right? And I think second guessing yourself in a lot of ways can like halt the entire thing. And then we have Justice on the Empress. That's what I meant. There's another Venetian card out here, which is the Libra card. So we have the Libra card and we have 2 Taurus cards. And so this is a really big thing for maybe even your Venus placement, wherever your Venus placement is. But this is a big thing about balancing out your own creative expression. That Empress card is the beginning of everything. She's the mother and she's the creator. And so there's something that you're removing from your life. And I think that it is a belief system. I think it's a narrative that you've had your whole life that you were meant to play it smaller than what you're doing. Okay. That was quite the message, Leos. That was like the opposite message of what Libra got. It was like abundance and abundance. And Libra's like, oh, things are changing and it will die. Super. That was funny. Like that night and day. All right. Next sign up is Pisces. I wonder if Serendipity is still here or if she dipped. Pisces. Let's see, Pisces, what it is that you are surrendering. Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Remember, these are for all three. Oh, two things. Okay. Surrender your belief in scarcity. The universe is asking you to open to the infinite nature of abundance. In this way, you can remove blocks in your life and succeed beyond your wildest dreams. So, surrender your belief in scarcity and surrender to non-action. Now is the time to be still and to not act. Simply breathe and focus on your own power. Let others come to you. Wow, Pisces. Surrender your belief in scarcity. So if you feel like you have to do the most, Pisces, coming up here for the eclipse, I feel like I need you to reassess that energy and kind of pull back and let yourself just breathe and like not do things. Even if, like, I get it, you want things to happen in life. You want everything to come to you the way that you really want. Oh, good. I get that you want everything to come to you in the way that you want it to come to you, but I'm going to be the real tarot reader. I'm not going to be one of those tarot readers that tells you what you want to hear. Life doesn't work that way. Yes, you can get a lot of what it is that you want, but at the end of the day, humans have very small brains and humans have very small capacity to expand their visions. And so a lot of the times, the things that we want in our lives are very minuscule to what the universe has an idea of giving us. And so if we stop trying to control the way all of that stuff comes in and allow yourself to just be like, I know that I am abundant in so many ways, and I do not have scarcity issues. I do not have scarcity problems. Oh, we did do Libra already, Alice. But thanks for being here still. So we have the Page of Cups, which is very Piscean energy. And we have the Moon, very Piscean as well. And then we have the Hermit, which is your opposite sign of Virgo. And so I feel like this full moon is about the journey that you're on right now. I feel like this eclipse and full moon is about the journey that you're on right now. And it's this kind of journey that you're on may not particularly be an easy one, but it's absolutely necessary and it's worth it. And you're not going to get a lot of answers if you're in this place of like, I need, I want. Like, gimme, I need, I want, right? That's what the Page of Cups does, right? The Page of Cups is like, this is what I desire and this is what I want. And it's great to have desires and it's great to have wants and it's great to have needs. But if that's all you're focusing on, you're not letting the universe show you other things that you can get. Yeah, it's like you're making it harder on yourself, Pisces. You're making it harder on yourself. And you're also probably saying like you're not good enough with things because things aren't happening in a time frame that you want them to happen, or they don't look the way that you want them to look. Now, I'm not saying that you're never going to get what you want. That is not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is you got to have a little bit of faith. You got to have a little bit of faith, and you got to be able to be willing to take the journey to get to the destination. It's like what I said earlier, that destination, while you think the destination point is really, really important, all of the things leading up to the destination are way more important. You're going to learn everything you need to know to get there. 10 of Wands on the Page of Cups. I know that this is a really tough journey. And I know that there's just like it's so difficult, like trudging, carrying the heavy load. I really, really get that. Some of you really need some boundaries, and that might be part of this journey that you're on. 7 of Wands on the moon. The moon is like taking the journey in the dark and not really having a lot of sight to be able to see. And so is the Hermit card. They're both taking the journey in the dark and having a very, very small amount of light to be able to take that journey. And so when you're taking this journey in the dark and you can't really see the direction that you're going in, the best thing for you to do for yourself is protect yourself. I did a video on the Patreon yesterday. I put up spiritual protection video that was like way long overdue, that really needs to be done, because there's a lot that we need to protect ourselves with right now, with the eclipse energy, and everything's really thin, and just the way that everybody's acting right now. You know, we talked about how like everybody is showing their true colors, and some of those true colors are really, really ugly and not cute at all. So 5 of Pentacles on the Hermit. I feel like you're being really hard on yourself, or I feel like you're just feeling super duper alone in all of this and on this journey. And I get it. Like, I remember being there, but I absolutely believe and feel that this is a lesson in learning that some of the things that we depend on in the world may not necessarily be something that you should be depending on anymore. A lot of people don't realize that, like, when they're not able to, like, how do I put this in a way where people aren't going to be like, that's so controversial. When I first started this journey, like, I've lived in survival mode my whole life. And so I've always been worried about how I'm going to get the bills paid and how much money is going to be happening and whatever, da, da, da. When I started this journey, I realized that there were a lot of things that I was paying for and I was taking care of that I didn't need to be paying for anymore. And so I kind of, like, I don't know if it was a mantra or if it was like a rule that I gave myself in the beginning of my journey. But I was like, if it shows, like, if I can't manifest the money for something and it is taken away from me because I can't manifest the money for it, that I wasn't supposed to have that anymore. The energy of that thing, the energy of that bill, whether it was my phone bill, whether it was an apartment rent, if I couldn't pay rent for the apartment that I was in anymore, it meant I wasn't supposed to be in that apartment. Does that mean that I'm not going to get rent for another place? Does that mean that I'm not going to open up space for things to happen? But that was kind of like where I had to place my thought process, because all day long I could be like, the world sucks and it's always trying to get on me and it's always doing this and it's always doing that. And like, I could blame the shit out of the world if I wanted to about what a hard life I've had. Or I can just look at it as, well, maybe I'm not supposed to be doing that anymore. Maybe that energy is dead and I need to make room. And I feel like, Pisces, that's what you're doing here. It's time for you to make some room so that you're not sitting here hoping and desiring that something happens. You're making room so doors start opening for you and you're not just waiting for it, okay? And surrendering to non-action, that is an adjustment of faith. And if any sign out here has a connection to source, Pisces does. So if you can't find your faith in what you need to do next, when the unreliability comes, girl, I stopped talking to my family. Like, people think that you have to be loyal to people or you have to keep people in your life because you're blood related. If those people aren't good to you, like, I tell people that. I'm like, if I can cut off my parents because they were not good to me, then I can cut off anybody. And so you're either an energy that's going to be in my life and you're going to be here and we're going to grow together and we're going to evolve together. And that includes everybody, or you're not. That's just simple. Yeah. Still gets me. That family thing. Yeah. All right, let's see what the next sign is. Taurus. All right, here we go. Here we go. Taurus, this is your full moon that's coming up, by the way. So let's see what Taurus is surrendering for this eclipse, this full moon. Wow. So 3 of them actually wanted to come out, Taurus. Okay. Surrender your desire to control people. Being over controlling can sabotage relationships. To more effectively achieve your goals, back off, regroup, and give the situation some breathing room. So surrender your desire to control people. Surrender to silence. This is very much like a non-action thing. In quiet meditation or contemplation, let go and enter the stillness within. Silence can heal and replenish you. And then we have surrender low self-esteem. You deserve success, love, and abundance. Set an intention to identify and release any remnants of low self-esteem. I kept seeing the 5 of Pentacles pop up again for this card, the surrendering the low self-esteem. So let's shuffle a little bit here, Taurus. I think I have like 3 signs after this. 3 signs left? Yeah. So this feels like, Taurus, this feels like I need you to stay in your lane for this eclipse. I don't need you to. I would like for you to stay in your lane for this eclipse because it feels like other people might test you, and they also may not make you feel particularly good about yourself. I must have the cards like. But also, if you are hanging out by yourself during this eclipse, you may beat yourself up a little bit. And so I really don't want that to happen for you. So it's kind of like, okay, so the daydreaming for sure. 10 of Cups, 3 of Swords, and the Knight of Pentacles. I feel like it's really frustrating for you that your life doesn't look the way that you thought it was going to by however far you are. You know? And I think that Knight of Pentacles, what's interesting is I think that you're getting there, but I think because you're not there yet, it feels kind of frustrating and it feels a little bit sad. You may find yourself processing some old emotions during this eclipse, Taurus, that you probably didn't want to, or, they just wasn't something that you really thought that you were going to be doing. But I do feel like you have some pain that it's taken some time to clean out. Like I literally am seeing these swords coming out of this 3 of Swords and then like having those spots stitched up, right? Just completely having those spots stitched up. Okay, 10 of Cups. Three of Swords, Knight of Pentacles. I didn't catch that ad that was inserted there. I was going to stop it. That's fine though. Okay, this is it. This is exactly what I was saying to you in a really big way. And it's interesting because we got the Queen of Wands again. So I really feel like this fiery feminine energy is coming out with this eclipse in a big way. Like we're really taking the fire inside of us because we all have it. I don't care what your sun sign is, we all have the fire in us. But I do feel like we're transmuting with the fire inside of us. We're transmuting the emotions. The 8 of Pentacles on the 10 of Cups. This is what I was saying. Like the 8 of Pentacles and the 9 of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles and the 8 of Pentacles are very similar energies. It's about not skipping the steps, even if it becomes really slow and frustrating and mundane and boring and obnoxious. But definitely that 8 of Pentacles on the 10 of Cups is saying like, keep working towards what you're doing. Whatever it is that you're doing right now is the right path that you're supposed to be on. It just feels kind of monotonous and boring right now. And when you get to that point to where you feel things are monotonous and kind of boring, let that fire inside of you. Like that's the thing is I think that when a Taurus stops what they're doing and they give themselves a moment to breathe, that's when the emotions sort of surface. If a Taurus isn't distracting themselves with something or working or something, like I feel like you're going to try and distract yourself by overworking yourself through this eclipse. That sounds like something I would do, and I probably will, but not because I'm distracting, but just because I have a lot to get done. But I feel like whatever emotions come up for you to transmute, you're making room and you're making space for your next move. And on the Knight of Pentacles, I have the Ace of Wands and the 4 of Cups. And so I just want to tell you that if you decide that you want to ignore all of the miracles that are coming at you because everything is taking so long to get here, seriously, that is like literally ignoring an opportunity coming straight out from the sky just because it took too long to get here. Patience, my Taurus. You know what's funny is everybody thinks that Taurus is the most patient sign. Sometimes their idea of patience is just doing things on their own terms and in their own time. But Taurians are actually very impatient people. I'm not going to get into that, but yeah, like, I think that Tauruses actually get frustrated with their lack of movement sometimes as well. So think about that. But the answers to what you need and the answers to getting away from this low self-esteem that you have and thinking that you're not going to be able to get ahead is literally surrendering to silence. Like that's going to be your key, Taurus, to get through this. All right, next sign. Let's see. Scorpio. Nice. Scorpio. Yeah. I know. I just like to drop secrets about the signs a lot and often. All right, Scorpio, let's see what it is that you are surrendering for. Oh, I like this for Scorpio. Surrender to creativity. Let your imagination soar. Stay open to all creative ideas about how to pursue a dream or solve a problem. Surrender to creativity. Let's get these shuffled up a little bit. I do have my calendar open. I have my 6-month readings available, by the way. Those January through June 2024 6-month readings are available. If you order in October, you'll also get December energies. So That one usually gets sold out. So I actually added a few because I had people last year like email me and be like, do you still have this reading available like in January? I didn't anymore. All right, Scorpio. Let's see. Okay. So Scorpio, I feel like you have a lot of opportunities to grow a lot of creative opportunities to, like, I literally want to call it your kingdom. Or like, you're trying to grow like this success. You're trying to lay the foundation for the future. The Seven of Cups. We have the Empress. And we have the 10 of Pentacles. And this really feels like having a lot of opportunities to create for your future foundation. And I'm wondering if you're just having a problem surrendering to all of these opportunities, or maybe you're having a problem and you're being confused with the opportunities. Like, which one do I take? Which one do I take? And, or you feel like you're not, it's almost as if you're not good enough to be able to take these opportunities that are coming at you. Could be very confusing for you as well. Let's see what the 10 of Pentacles is. Okay. So this is a lesson. This feels very much like a lesson because the seeds that you're planting right now have everything to do with what's coming up in the future. And even so much that Saturn has shown up here. And Saturn is the ruler of time. Saturn is also the ruler of the 10 of Pentacles, and he came out to clarify the 10 of Pentacles. So whatever it is that you want to do for your future, it's going to take time and work. Like, you're not just going to be able to be like, I really want to be a millionaire in the future and then not play the lottery. How does that work, you guys? I really want to be a CEO of a company, but you never worked a day in your life. You know where I'm getting. So 5 of Swords on the 7 of Cups. Don't let I just feel like this is very overwhelming for you. And I want to say to not let yourself get overwhelmed by everything that's coming at you. And if you're like, well, I don't know which one I need to be focusing on, Betsy, remember that it's better to have too many opportunities in front of you than none at all. For those of us that wish that a door would appear so that things could like open up and manifest very easily, I would love to have like 100 million opportunities in front of me. What can I do, right? And you created some of these opportunities that you're now like, oh my God, too much. I'm not going to be able to do it. 7 of Pentacles on the Empress. Too many opportunities. You created them. Now what do I do with it? Well, you work for it, right? And you have patience. The 7 of Pentacles is a very patient card. It's like, being a gardener, just like baking, takes patience. And then we have the Devil on the 10 of Pentacles. If there's anything that we've learned in our lives, it's that a lot of perseverance and patience and time and hard work, elbow grease will get you anywhere, All right. All right, Scorpio. Like I said, you guys are very much like Capricorns. Tap in. Tap in. All right, let's see what's next. We have Aquarius next, which means Gemini is last but not least. So Aquarius, oh boy, Aquarius. I love doing those 6-month readings, Diane. Like, I think that's why I still have them. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't be doing them anymore. But Yeah, those are the ones that have kind of stuck. Like everything else has always changed. But those 6-month readings I've been doing for probably 5 years now, like a total of 5 years. And when people stop wanting them, that's when I'll stop doing them. Surrender to effortlessness. Aquarius, surrender to effortlessness. Stop pushing so hard. The art of living means going with the flow instead of trying to force the river. That makes sense. The art of living means going with the flow instead of trying to force the river. Let's shuffle. Oh, I remember that. I think I remember your first reading. I don't remember what was in it, but I remember doing it. I remember where I was when I was doing it. All right. Okay, Aquarius. Oh. Okay, so there is some kind of closure when it comes to a masculine. It could be a fire sign, but it's a masculine energy. There's a lot of fire in here. Could be you actually also coming out like this. Like I said, we're doing a lot of transmuting through fire energy right now. So you could be doing that as well. But we have the King of Wands. We have the World. We have the Knight of Wands. And we have the Ace of Wands. Like, I feel like, Aquarius, the reason why the Knight of Wands is here, because the Knight of Wands does this wishy-washy back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, is like the King of Wands wants to make the decisions, and he's going to make the decisions in a passionate way because he is who he is. But I feel like there's a decision of closure that has to happen. And I think outside of that, it's like, what the hell do I do? And here's the funny thing is like you don't see what's going to happen until after the closure happens, right? So there's this Ace of Wands that's just sitting here waiting for you to make this decision to close out a chapter in your life so that it can like show up and bring all of the good, passionate opportunities into your life. But it really feels like the Knight of Wands feels like he's doing the most. The Knight of Wands really feels like he's doing the most and trying to figure out what's the next step. And that's what this surrender to effortlessness is all about. You don't have to figure out what the next step is. The universe has already got your back. I mean, I hate to use a cliche, but here we are. The universe already has your back. So King of Wands. They just want to fly everywhere. Yeah, you got to have faith. Oh, dang. Y'all are just like, spirit is basically looking at you and being like, because you already know what you got to do. And that's what's funny about it. Okay. I won't laugh at your indecision making. 8 of Cups on the King of Wands. Again, and this is a thing that you are emotionally connected to. So it's hard to walk away. I understand. I totally get that. Like I really, really do totally get that. It's hard to walk away. But I feel like you being in the King of Wands energy, like you become kind of decisive during this time. And there's something emotionally attached to what you're doing here. 2 of Pentacles on the World. Just like the Knight of Wands energy, there's this vacillating that's happening, trying to make that decision, Aquarius, on what direction you're going to go in. You know what? I actually feel like this eclipse energy for a lot of us, we're not going to have to do shit for it to work for us. And like I said in the beginning, I feel like, or not even but before we started the cards, it's like, I feel like this eclipse energy coming up is a simultaneous closing of chapters and opening up of new chapters at the same time. So listening to your intuition, because you know what decision you're supposed to be making, and listening to your intuition, the high priestess, that's when I started laughing. For some of you, you're trying to make a decision about a Pisces. That's not all of you, but for some of you, you're trying to make a decision about a Pisces. For others of you, you're trying to decide whether you want to listen to your intuition or whether you want to listen to either what's going on in your mind or what's going on in your outside world, or like all of the other things that are telling you why you can't make this decision. And then we have the Fool with the Ace of Wands. This is about having faith. The Fool is about having faith to start a new beginning. And that Ace of Wands, again, aces are gifts from the universe. And aces don't typically show up for us until we're ready for it, until we've learned the lesson, until we've gotten over the hump, until we've gotten over to the other place. And so I feel like what Spirit is saying is you just got to have faith that there's going to be this opportunity for you on the other side of it, you know? And it really is up to us to, and like everybody's situation is so individual and unique, that it's up to us to decide when we're ready to start moving along. But sometimes we're so slow about it that the universe is going to come in and be like, I left it up to you long enough, and now it's my turn. And so that may be the next step, is if you continue to vacillate, the universe may come in and be like, I gave you all this space to make this decision. And maybe some of you are actually waiting for the universe to do that for you. And that makes a lot of sense, to be quite honest. In a lot of ways, it makes sense. And so I feel like this is, don't overthink. Don't surrender to effortlessness. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to leave anything. You don't have to overthink this process, Aquarius. It's going to be taken care of for you. Oh, good. Yeah. Awesome. A lot of times I find my rising sign or my moon sign are a little bit more potent, but that's because I'm a 12th house sun. And so I just often don't see the Virgo energy a lot. Like sometimes especially during Virgo season, I see it, but yeah, my rising sign resonates with me often. Last but certainly not least, we have Gemini. So Gemini, sun, moon, and rising. Let's see what it is that you are surrendering for the eclipse. Surrender to divine timing. Sometimes divine timing may differ from your ego's timing. If a goal isn't manifesting fast enough according to your ego, be patient and trust the universal flow. And I love how they have it in quotations. If a goal isn't manifesting fast enough, right, according to your ego, be patient and trust the universal flow. I think a lot of people just hate the fact that divine timing exists, but I'm going to give you guys a little secret. Divine timing is actually your timing. When you are aligned to your journey and you are listening to what your soul wants you to do, and you are creating within that journey and your intuition, and you're not letting anything get in the way of that, divine timing happens in your timing. Like, think about those times where you have something work out and it was just like an effortless working out situation. And you were like, oh my God, that's so weird how easy that just fell into my lap. And like, I thought I was going to have to do all this work for it. And I was going to have to do this and I was going to do this and this. And it just happened. And that's what divine timing is. And that means that you are exactly meant to be right there at that. And that doesn't mean that any other time of your life, you're not meant to be doing what you're doing, but we all have free will. So what do humans do with free will? We stray. We go this way. We go this way. And we think that we know better. And our journey's right here. Right? So the more you allow yourself to not overthink the process, the more you allow yourself to be like, I know that it's last minute, but the miracle's going to show up. And the more you allow yourself to not beat yourself down and everybody else involved, everything becomes really effortless. And then you realize that you're literally living in divine timing. Oh, yeah. You know, Heidi, that I've raised 2 Geminis, so I know what that's like. And, you know, Geminis will talk themselves into and out of things effortlessly, which is really funny because that's literally what just came up. Stop talking to yourself. Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay. I feel like, and this makes sense with the surrender to divine timing. I feel like Geminis want something more in their life. 3 of Wands was the first card that came out. And then we have the 5 of Swords. You're welcome, Alice. Thanks for being here. Yeah. And then the 2 of Swords. You're welcome, Diane. Yeah, it's so true. When I figured that lesson out about divine timing, again, like when you realize certain things about this journey, it brings you a lot of peace. Like when you realize that you are fated and destined for certain things in this lifetime. And even if there are burdens, you can either accept it or you can suffer through it. And when you realize that divine timing is actually your timing, when you're supposed to get things, when you're supposed to do things, when all of that, it becomes effortless. And I do feel like why there's a reason why Gemini here needs divine timing, because you want something more. 3 of Wands, 5 of Swords, 2 of Swords, and the 10 of Wands. So we have a lot of Wands and a lot of Swords here. And I feel like Gemini feels like they've just been struggling up this hill and just working really hard to get up this hill. I feel like there's a big second guessing. Like, I feel like you think it's never going to happen. I feel like you've been working really hard towards something and you want more out of life and like it's never going to happen. Like you're kind of stuck in this place. That 2 of Swords, there might be decisions that you have to make in order for you to see the pathway, right? Oh, yeah, and not rushing into anything. I'm going to show you guys that. I looked at the bottom of the deck. I haven't done that with anybody else, but oh, yeah, the North Node can absolutely, especially if your North Node is the same sign as one of your Sun, Moon, or Rising, it could definitely resonate. But so Gemini's 10 of Pentacles with the Page of Cups on the 3 of Wands. There is this desire of a really strong foundation. Like you want to have, I think you want to have monetary abundance. And with the Page of Cups there's that longing. Sometimes I find the Page of Cups a little whiny. Like that's the voice in my head when it comes up is a whiny voice. And I'm like not trying to knock on any sign or anything, because the Page of Cups actually represents the Pisces energy. And I'm not trying to knock on Pisces at all by saying that. I just want to make that clear. But the Page of Cups feels like a very whiny energy. And so I feel like you really just want to get to this place where you're comfortable and you don't want to have to keep struggling to get there. We have the 9 of Pentacles on the 5 of Swords. This actually, Heidi, what you said, this is about Geminis wanting to move too fast. That's exactly the problem here. There's things are moving so slow right now that it's making you second guess everything. It's making you second guess whether you should be working on this or whether you should be working on this. And I got to say, you guys, I'm working my butt off right now and there's not a lot of fruit. that's coming from the work. And all I keep hearing in my mind, keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. It's going to pay off. This is not a time where everything's going to materialize like that, right? And maybe after the eclipse energy breaks apart, and that's going to probably be around Halloween time or like maybe a couple of days into November. But once that eclipse energy breaks apart, there's going to be so much more clarity. But in the meantime, you got to slow down. You got to like pull yourself back in, Gemini. The Knight of Pentacles is telling you that these like steps that you're taking so you don't miss anything is valuable. It may be annoying to you, but it's absolutely valuable. 7 of Cups on the 2 of Swords. You don't have to pick. You don't have to choose what to pay attention to. You don't have to choose what to focus on. You don't have to do that at all. If it's too overwhelming right now, do something that you want to do. Do something that's going to brush this kind of energy off. Because I feel like right now you're so overwhelmed that you don't even want to look at any of it. Like you have so many projects that you have to do. You have so many things that you need to get done or you want to get done that you don't want to look at any of it. So, and I feel like you've been carrying this weight for so long. You're just like, hurry up and get it done, right? Knight of Swords, which is the Gemini card. Knight of Swords on the 10 of Wands. Oh, it's also in your 6th house. And this is totally directed at the cats. Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah. You're like, I just want nice things again. I get it. But I do. I feel like you've been carrying a pretty heavy load for a while. And I got to say, though, Gemini, the one thing that is not going to help the situation is by rushing through it, especially when it comes to the cats, because you got to be patient with the cats, right? You got to make sure that you're being patient with them because they'll pick up on, you know that they'll pick up on your nervousness or your anxiety or whatever, and they'll keep on like it'll still be stressful. But this does feel very much like it's time to kind of look at all of this in a different perspective and allow yourself to understand that you cannot rush something that's, because the 10 of Pentacles makes me feel like that you will have solidified a foundation eventually, but you just can't rush into it. Oh, good. Simone, I'm glad that you enjoyed yourself. Let's take a look at these muffins. I don't want you guys to go without actually, you guys have hung out with me this whole time. So let's see here. It's stuck. No matter what I do, there's still going to be something that's going to happen to it, right? All right, here we go. There it is. Look how pretty they are. And you can, like if I open it up a little, you can see the cream cheese in there too. The camera does not do the muffins justice. Yeah, they're really yummy. I wish that I could mail them all to you because I would send you guys muffins, but these need to be refrigerated because of the cream cheese. So I hope that I'll put the recipe down here, and I hope you guys are able to do the recipe sometime. But I'll definitely put it in the description box. Just give me a little bit of time to kind of like relax a little. It's been 3 hours now that we've been doing this. And I appreciate everybody because before I started this, I was really kind of like dragging ass in a big way. And Henri was like, well, maybe you shouldn't be doing this today. And I was like, I don't know, maybe I'll feel better when I start. And I did. I absolutely felt better once I got started. So I appreciate you all as well, bringing some good energy in. And I hope you have a wonderful Saturday and take care of yourself through these eclipse energies. We're halfway through. All right. Make sure you catch up on all the readings over on the channel and join the Patreon. You can get a lot of extra stuff. There's a lot of stuff going up on there. I think we have like 200 videos already that you could go through. So thanks for hanging out. I love you guys. Take care. Bye. Oh, thanks, Heidi. Appreciate you. Absolutely. Bye-bye.